add, because I think, was there 2 papers or 1 paper about chronic kidney disease cats? There's 2, isn't there?
Yeah.
And what I loved reading was the theory behind why these cats lived as long, and they had a great quality of life.
They lived longer. They lived longer on meloxicam than they did without it.
And it was beautiful when you read, because they were able to get up, move, drink, eat, toilet, absolutely, which actually kept them well hydrated, kept their lean body mass up. And you're like going, that makes me feel really good. You know?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
I think we spend so long worrying about what if it goes wrong. You're like, well, when it goes right, how freaking wonderful is it to hear that cat's up, moving, drinking, eating, and keeping himself holistically better off just through pain being reduced. So
absolutely. I mean, would you want your cat to live longer just because it was lying around and not having a good quality of life? I mean, even if they hadn't lived longer, the quality of life was improved. And so I think that's what we always have to be looking at from an owner. Obviously I own 3 cats, and it's horrible to think of it this way, but it's quality of life over quantity of life. And
100%.
That's
because when you hear the reverse of a cat is so sore it doesn't want to get up and drink, you know, I wouldn't want that to be my cat.
No, absolutely not.
So that's good. So the non-steroidals, and at the moment here in the UK, we've got 2 licensed with venlafaxine and meloxicam. I don't know if it's the same over there in the US.
Same for us. Although we've got it worse here, because like they still are only licensed for 3 days for venlafaxine and a one-off dose of meloxicam. But because of the evidence, we just prescribe anyway and make sure owners are aware.
Wow.
Yeah. So we're even more behind.
Who didn't get the memo there?
I don't know. Someone needs to make these things happen.
Okay, so that's good. So what else do you think's been a dramatic improvement in the last few decades?
I think other things that we've started to get some more evidence on. Obviously, we've got evidence now that gabapentin can be helpful for those kind of neuropathic chronic pain cases. So I think that's helpful, and we're beginning to get better evidence to support our use of that as well. We've also got evidence that obviously in dogs, we got some interesting evidence that tramadol was not useful for dogs with orthopaedic conditions, but weirdly, because cats process it differently, it is effective in cats. So we have evidence now showing that tramadol can be used in cats with arthritis. They still hate the taste of it, so it isn't my first choice. but certainly it's an option, and we have transdermal products now as well, which potentially we need a little bit more information on those, but they're coming, and we can keep an eye on that as an alternative option, so we can avoid the salivating cats.
Yeah, I don't think we have transdermal over here. Like, I only realised from chatting to Sheila that you guys have these pharmacies that just turn everything into transdermal products, don't
they? Compounding pharmacies.
Compounding pharmacies. And that means that anything's good to go, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty useful. Other things, we still don't have a lot of data on amantadine, although a lot of us are using that. Still not a lot of data on the other kind of weird and wonderfuls we sometimes pull out for those recalcitrant cases, the amitriptylines and things of the world. But we are getting more evidence now for the anti-nerve growth factor antibody. So we're getting some information on that coming out. And that is now licensed both in Europe and here for cats. So the franavetnab is now available. I think we've got a little bit more work to do on that from a prescribing perspective. My feeling with that is that currently everyone's using it as a last resort. So they'll use everything else that they're comfortable with, which is understandable. You can use the things that you're used to using. And then they get the cat that becomes very end stage. And then they bring out the anti-nerve growth factor antibody, thinking it's going to make all the difference. And then I think people are getting not maybe the most positive results with it. So I think this is something that we need to be employing a little earlier in our armory, and not leaving it to that very last resort. If we want it to be able to do its real job and help, then I think we need to go multimodal early and bring all of these options together from a very early stage. Trying to combat the pain pathway from multiple different levels right from the beginning, rather than reaching for these things as a last resort and expecting that they're going to save the day.